Most people will know about the Greco-Egyptian queen Cleopatra, who had relationships with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. The question is, why did Cleopatra plan an escape to India? Welcome to Ancient World Studies. My name is Dr. Raoul McLaughlin. I am an Irish scholar and an author of several books about Rome beyond the frontiers of the empire. If you would like to read the primary sources for this talk, please follow the link below to the Academia website for an accessible translation. Greek culture reached northern India through the conquests of Alexander the Great in the 4th century BC. In this era, the maritime routes from Egypt to India were unknown to the Greeks and only existed as unconfirmed speculation. Alexander sent a military fleet from the Indus region east to the Persian Gulf, but the Greeks did not explore a connecting route around the coast of southern Arabia. After the death of Alexander, in 323 BC, his empire was divided between his generals. They declared themselves kings and established powerful dynasties within their own realms. Ptolemy Soter seized possession of Egypt and established a Greco-Macedonian dynasty that would endure for centuries and culminate in the reign of the famous queen Cleopatra VII. During the 3rd century BC, the Ptolemaic kings established ports on the Red Sea and sent Greek military expeditions down the east coast of Africa. Greek ships explored the coast, and military personnel established base stations to hunt and capture African forest elephants. The valuable ivory collected in these hunts financed Ptolemaic state spending, and the live animals brought back aboard Greek transports were trained and deployed for war in the Near East. Consequently, the Ptolemies developed an important naval presence in the Red Sea, and Greek merchant ships followed these courses in search of profit. By the 2nd century BC, Greek traders had begun sailing to ports in southwest Arabia to acquire packages of costly incense. The Ptolemies gained valuable revenue from the custom taxes they collected on Red Sea imports. It was therefore in their interests to facilitate the trade and protect the Greek merchants who operated within the Gulf. Diodorus reports that when the Ptolemaic kings in Alexandria opened the Red Sea to their merchants, the Arabs attacked those who were shipwrecked and fitted out pirate vessels to prey upon the voyagers. These attacks came from the Arab kingdom of Nabatea on the far coast of the Red Sea. The Ptolemies took reprisals by sending quadrireme war galleys to sink the Nabatean ships and destroy their ports. Diodorus reports that during this conflict, the Nabatean raiders were caught on the high seas by the quadriremes and punished just as they deserved. Strabo elaborates. The Nabateans had been peaceful, but then they launched small ships to plunder the vessels of sailors from Egypt. They paid the penalty when a fleet crossed over and sacked their country. After this engagement, the Ptolemies maintained a small patrol fleet of warships in the Red Sea to guard Greek shipping from further Arab attacks. During this era, Greek civilization also thrived in Central Asia, where the Greco-Bactrian kingdom gained prominence in Afghanistan. The Greeks in this region were a minority population, but they held power as a ruling military elite through a network of 5 major Greco-Bactrian cities. At the height of their power, the Greco-Bactrian kingdom was able to field campaign armies, including perhaps more than 20,000 Asiatic Greek soldiers. During the 2nd century BC, commanders from the Greco-Bactrian kingdom began the reconquest of the Indus region and captured ports on the Indian Ocean. But there was a sudden outbreak of civil war among the Greek generals. District commanders declared independence, and with the assistance of their local campaign troops and garrison forces, they settled the territory and promoted themselves as regional kings. Much of the evidence for these Indo-Greek rulers comes from ancient coin finds, such as those of King Menander. Menander I ruled large parts of northern India until 130 BC, and early Indian texts, such as the Milinda Panha, Questions of Menander, suggest that he may have converted to Buddhism. The weakened and divided Greco-Bactrian kingdom was destroyed in the mid-2nd century BC by mounted invaders from the steppe, including a people called the Sakas. But several small outlying Indo-Greek realms survived until the time of Julius Caesar and Cleopatra. Silver coins from the city of Sagala on the upper Indus reveal the continued existence of an Indo-Greek realm ruled by a monarch named Strato II. Strato held power until at least 10 BC, resisting the threat posed by the Sakas and the adjoining Indian kingdoms. The Ptolemies in Egypt knew about these Indo-Greek realms and may even have been in regular contact with their rulers. The first direct maritime contact between Egypt and India occurred in about 118 BC. It happened when a Ptolemaic patrol ship found the remains of a strange foreign vessel adrift in the Red Sea. They rescued a single, emaciated survivor from the wreckage, a man who was an Indian sailor. He was taken to the court of Ptolemy VIII, Eugetes, known as Physicon. There the Indian recovered from his ordeal and learnt to speak Greek. The mariner explained that he had been blown off course on a trade sailing from India and offered to pilot any Greek ship that would return him to his homeland. Physicon was enthusiastic about the prospect of direct contact with the rich kingdoms of ancient India and appointed a Greek navigator named Eudochus to command the expedition. The Indian mariner revealed to Eudochus how the seasonal monsoon winds could be used to make fast voyages across the Indian Ocean. Eudochus reached the Indus kingdoms in a matter of weeks and exchanged royal gifts with the ruling Rajas on behalf of the Ptolemaic regime. He also conducted trade deals in the Indian ports and acquired stocks of precious stones and valuable spices. His voyage demonstrated to Greek merchants how they too could profit from direct trade with India. The Greek discovery of fast sailing routes across the Indian Ocean began an important new era in the development of the ancient economy. It took more than 10 weeks for Greek ships to sail to India, but the voyage was costly and dangerous, crossing almost 3,000 miles of coastline and open sea. There was also the further expense of custom taxes set at 1/4 rate in Egypt and 1/5 in India. These conditions encouraged Greek and Indian merchants to meet at places midway between their home ports and exchange goods at sites where harbour dues were lower or non-existent. Two of these early meeting places were Socotra Island near the Horn of Africa and Eudamon Port in southwest Arabia. By the mid-1st century BC, most Greek ships ended their voyages at Eudamon, Arabia, where they met with Eastern merchants to take on board cargoes of Indian goods. In this era, few ships would risk piracy and storm damage to complete the full voyage from Egypt to India. Strabo records, "In these early times, not even 20 vessels would dare to sail beyond the Gulf or venture outside the straits. Under the Ptolemaic kings, only a few vessels would sail to India to carry back Indian merchandise." This was nonetheless an important achievement, and for the first time a direct commercial link between India and the Mediterranean world was developing. This commercial network presented Cleopatra with a possible means to escape her imperial enemies in the Roman Mediterranean. Please see part 2 of this video lecture concerning the son of Caesar and Cleopatra. Follow this channel, like and share this video lecture. Our worksheet containing primary sources can be accessed at my academia website. Follow the link below. Thank you.